This is Natural Powerlifting Radio. Deadlifts, chicken nuggets, video games. This is Check My Total, a powerlifting podcast with Timothy Payne and Andrew Henson.
Welcome to Check My Total podcast, episode 2. Get to know your host, Timothy Payne, part 2.
Yeah, last episode we did Andrew, so hopefully you'll get to learn a little bit about me.
All right, well, let's get started with this thing. So give us a little intro about yourself.
Well, my story is probably different than most people in the powerlifting world. Most people's parents don't own a powerlifting federation, so that's a little bit different.
True.
I started lifting weights when I was 7 years old, and this is actually probably a year or two before we started Iron Boy powerlifting. So let's say I started lifting in like 99. I think our first meet was in 2000 or 2001.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, yeah, so I was 7 years old when I started lifting, and my dad was smart just to teach me technique. That way I wouldn't be, 7 years old trying to lift 500 pounds and screw myself up. He was very smart in the way that he trained me. So it was pretty much all technique until I turned, probably 12 years old or so. Maybe even older than that when I became a teenager. We started putting some more weight on the bar. But yeah, I started lifting when I was 7, and I'm from North Carolina, same place as Mr. Andrew. And in 2004, or maybe even earlier than that, 2003, we opened up a gym in Yadkinville, North Carolina. And it was powerlifting specific. And let's say I was probably 10 years old maybe when our gym opened. So I was lifting in the gym during middle school. So since it was powerlifting specific, we ran it like a club. So everyone got their own key. And to train, you either had to go in by yourself or sign up for groups.
Yeah. Now, back in those days, there was a lot of equipped lifting, right?
Yeah, back in the day, Iron Boy, we were not drug tested, and I haven't really kept up with the scene lately, and I don't know how big it is today as far as multiply goes, but I'd say the early 2000s, at least from my perspective, was like the golden age peak of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had guys, when we say equipment, we're talking about supportive gear, bench shirts, deadlift suits, squat suits. These guys would wear like a 2-ply squat suit, and then underneath their squat suit they would wear briefs, which briefs, is just like half a squat suit, it's just the bottom half without any straps. So they wear that underneath their squat suit. So these guys would be wearing like 4 plies of stuff.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was crazy. If they're trying to squat 1,000, the suit's taking 500 of it.
Yeah, that's a different world.
Yeah, it's not one I care too much about going back to. I very much like the raw and single ply world, which, nowadays we don't even have that many single ply people lifting the meets anymore. But yeah, so we were running that gym, or my dad was running it. I was still a youngin', and we were, working with all the multiply people. At one point in time, I'm pretty sure we had 3 of the top 5 220s in the world. We used to go up to organization called WPO, and we had a bunch of guys compete in it, and we beat Westside and all that kind of good stuff, and they took first prize like 3 years in a row or something, or 3 different guys.
Wow.
So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, unfortunately we had to shut it down though in 2005, 2006. That's the same year that we decided to make Iron Boy a drug-free organization, was in 2006. So it all just kind of came to a head at the same time. And the gym, since that multiply gear is kind of on the extreme side, them guys were taking steroids and everything else. My dad thought he could keep the gym and them guys separated as far as it not spreading throughout the gym. And he was just naive back then. Half the gym ended up getting hooked on steroids. And my dad just had an epiphany one night. Even though we have nothing to do with it, if the cops come rolling up into the parking lot and the gym's all over the news, well, it's our last name on the front window. So all your credibility goes out that window too.
That's true. They're coming to bust the steroids on.
So, he basically shut the gym down the next day, and them guys went off and did their own thing, and we went off and did our own thing. And like I said, at the same time, we dumped all the Iron Boy records and started over in 2006. So that's when we became drug free, and we've been kicking booty ever since in that world.
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of people listening with y'all now, and probably some of the most fun meets I've been to. So let's see. Oh, did you say how old you are? I don't think you said your age.
Oh no, well I started when I was 7, but I'm 25 now if I'm doing my math correctly. I lose track of even my age. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm 25.
All right.
I was born in 93.
This House of Pain in good old Yadkinville. Yeah, Yadkinville's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, the rent was pretty good.
Yeah. Wait, was it like a warehouse thing?
No, we were in a building. It was only two businesses in the building. So it was us on one side, and on the other side, it was like, I don't know, my aunt used to work there, but it was like an insurance place or something weird. And then beside our building was a like Tasty Freeze, and across the street was the fire station, and that was it.
How many trips to the Tasty Freeze did y'all do?
Oh man, at least I'd say 4 out of 7 days probably.
I don't even know what a Tasty Freeze is. It's like an icy place?
A Tasty Freeze, man, it's like oh man, I don't know how to explain it. Are you old enough to remember Chars?
Yeah, man, you're only 3 years older than I am.
Well, I don't know when Chars shut down. Man, if I was 10 when Chars shut down, that means that you were 7. I don't know if you remember Chars. But anyways, it's kind of like a fast food greasy spoon. They have like corn dogs and hot dogs and french fries and stuff like that. For everyone listening to this, y'all probably know how to explain a Tasty Freeze way better than I do.
Oh, wait, is that like a chain?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Oh.
And you can get like soft served ice cream, but it's just the Tasty Freeze beside us, it was just a window. Like you can't go inside or anything. You just roll up to the window, get your hot dog and eat in your car. Or in our case, we just walked back to the gym. Yeah, but it was nice, man. We had all the equipment. I'm pretty sure we were the first gym in North Carolina to have a monolift.
Yeah.
We had everything in that place.
Y'all had people flying in to train with y'all, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where the couple was from.
I want to say your dad said something about Colorado or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been, that sounds about right. But anyways, we had a couple, like Andrew just said, from Colorado that would fly in every weekend just to train at the gym for 2 days before they had to go back to work. We had the culture rocking. I just hate, it all had to come to an end. But hopefully in the future, we're going to build something like that again.
That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was too young to see the House of Pain back in the prime. I was a wee lad.
Yep. Like I said, I was like 12 when we shut it down. Well, I guess I can tell you about my child stardom.
Yeah. Didn't you set some records when you were a youngster?
So when I was 12 years old, 11, 12, and so when I started really getting into powerlifting, like I even quit Little League Baseball because I thought I was going to become a big time powerlifter. Like there's any money in powerlifting. So when I was 11 years old that summer, I went on tour. This was like a 3-week thing. So the first week I lifted in an AAU meet. 11, 12-year-old division. For this meet, I was 97 pounds. And I deadlifted 185 pounds at 11 years old and 97 pounds. And that was a world record.
We got a world record holder on the podcast.
Yeah, man. The only problem is it was, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Y'all gonna learn how bad my math is on this podcast. If it's not 45s and 25s, I can't do it.
That's true.
Anyway, I set that world record, when I was 11 years old. And then the next week, we went to Nebraska for USAPL. And this might have been their first ever or the last ever, I can't remember which one, youth competition that they did. Because I don't know if USAPL does any youth stuff anymore. Like I said, I don't really keep up with the powerlifting
I
world,
don't know.
which I guess I need to. But anyways, we went out to Nebraska. So, we spent, it might not have been a week, but 11 years old, it felt like a week to get out there from North Carolina because we drove. Because usually,
Yeah.
if our family's going to go somewhere, we make a trip out of it. So, along the way, we stopped at like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and all kinds of cool stuff. So, I go to Nebraska for the USAPL. I guess this was just a national meet, national championships, youth teens. And I didn't do too well. I placed 4th out of 6, I believe it was. And we drove to Nebraska to do it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's only 6 people that showed up?
Well, I mean, in my division.
Wow.
So, like 11, 12 years old.
Oh. No, there's probably not that many 11, 12-year-olds powerlifting.
But I wasn't first, though. I was 4th. Anyway, the reason I brought up the 97-pound thing, though, is because for the USAPL meet, I put on my paper that I was going to be in the 105 class. And USAPL, if you don't weigh in what you have written on your paper, like when you send it in, when you register, pre-register, they won't let you change. Like if you don't weigh in your weight class, which this could be different now too, but for that national meet, if I wasn't 105, I couldn't compete.
Yeah.
So all that week I'm eating and doing whatever, just trying to weigh, 98 pounds. And I think I weighed in, it wasn't too much further off from that. I was either like 97.5 pounds or 98 pounds. So I was officially 105. So yeah, I was weighing.
12-year-old stuffing corn dogs down his face.
That's what I'm saying. There was plenty of corn and corn dogs in Nebraska.
Man, that's funny, man. You quit baseball. You're like, Coach, I'm out. I'm going to become a world class.
Yeah, seriously, man. And I also got ticked off at baseball because this is going to sound stupid to anybody that's a real athlete, but I had the same coach for like 5 years in a row because it's Little League baseball. It's just usually the way it works. And every single year I'd get nominated to be on the All-Star team, but the coach's kid and whoever the coach's kid's best friend was at the time would go to the All-Star team because they only took 2 players off of every team to be on the All-Stars.
Yeah.
So I got ticked off at that too, in the politics. I was like, man, screw y'all, I'm going to be a powerlifter.
Right? Man, your little league coach was probably like, what in the world is powerlifting?
Yeah. If I could go back and change anything, I probably would have kept with the baseball.
Oh, not me. I can't throw or hit I can hit, but I can't throw that ball in a straight line or anything.
Well, that was another good thing about my parents too. They put me in every single sport, but it wasn't like I was being forced. They would ask me, hey, you want to play t-ball this fall? I'd be like, yeah, let's go play some t-ball. And then he'd be like, hey, you want to play some soccer? I'd be like, yeah, let's play some soccer. But if I ever told them, no, I don't want to do this, like for example, I think I was 4 or 5 years old and they took me up into a taekwondo place.
Hey, that's my realm.
I know, and they had me stand with all the people in the dojo or whatever, and they were all yelling and kicking and stuff, and I freaked out and started crying. Anyways, that was my experience with taekwondo. Was about 30 seconds.
Wait, how old were you when they did this?
I was young, like 4 or 5 or something. But it was a class of like middle schoolers.
Oh my goodness.
They took us to the back. They showed me, the gi with like the dragon embroidered on it, really cool looking, on the back.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, do you want to sit in and just kind of watch what we do? And I'm all amped up trying to get my dragon gi. And I stand out there with all the middle schoolers, and they start yelling and kicking and karate chopping. And dude, I freak out and run back to my parents. I'm like, screw this. This is scary stuff.
I ain't getting it. I just wanted the dragon gi.
Basically.
I don't want none of this.
I'm all about that swag, man. Give me the gi. That's all I need.
You should have just registered, got the gi, and left.
So I say all that to say, if I wanted if I said no to playing a sport, my parents were like, okay, he doesn't want to play. They didn't force me to do anything.
Yeah, you
But
weren't like some of these people that are like, Johnny, you're playing baseball.
yeah, and even as a kid, when you're out there playing with kids like that, you can tell they don't want to be there. It's like, I don't
That's
know.
true.
So yeah, I played t-ball growing up, soccer, basketball, and then of course I was powerlifting all my life. And yeah, I'm a world record holder as far as I know. I don't think anybody has beaten it. So
Yeah, is that federation still around? The one you broke that record in?
yeah, AAU, Amateur Athletic Union. They'll
Okay.
probably be around till we die.
So yeah, that's a little brief introduction. So you've been in the powerlifting scene for a while as far as running meets go. You've been doing that all your life, basically.
Yeah. As far as actually working the meets and not just being a kid, running around all over the place, I was probably, 13, 14 when I actually had to start working.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have been running meets since I was 7 years old.
Yeah. So let's see. When was the first time you ever judged? Was that when you were like 13? Did you start judging around then?
I was 14 when I judged my first meet, and it wasn't Iron Boy. It was a meet called Quest for Life, and I think it was just a push pull meet, a bench and
Okay.
deadlift only. A guy named Jeff Crouch used to run them,
Hmm.
and it was kind of a lax meet. Like they still had judging and everything, but it wasn't, which I wouldn't call Iron Boy serious, but you get what I'm saying. Like you kind of just nobody was keeping records for the Quest for Life thing. Like you kind of just went, lifted, got your trophy, and went home. There wasn't any. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like I said, they didn't keep records for it. It was just a fun
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah. It was just show up, kind of lift thing, and then leave with a trophy or something.
Yeah, and you feel good and all that kind of good stuff. But there's nothing,
Okay.
no super high competition or, which, I mean, he had the crazy multiply people lifting in his meets just because he knew the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, a lot of our guys would go there just kind of test out stuff, like before they actually went to a qualifier or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the first meet I ever judged. He stuck me on the foot for the bench press, and then I think I stayed on the foot for the deadlifts. And I had a conversation with my dad after that meet about judging and being a head judge, and he basically kept me out of the head judge chair until I was 18 years old. Basically saying, if somebody gets pissed off or something gets up in your face, they're going to talk down to you because you're just a teenager and all that kind of crap. So we
That's
waited.
true.
We waited till I was 18 years old before I started head judging. But
That's
yeah, I was
cool.
14 when I started that judging meets and all that kind of good stuff.
So what's been some of the biggest changes in running meets since you've been doing it ever since the multiply and now with all the raw? What's a big change? Has the atmosphere changed? Anything major changed since you started?
Are we talking like powerlifting as a whole or just Iron Boy?
Just Iron Boy in the meets that y'all run.
As far as Iron Boy goes, we used to only run 2 or 3 meets a year. So we'd have, 150 people at our meets because, we only did 1 or 2 a year.
Hmm.
And we used to overkill on everything. Like, our platform was 3 times as big as the platform we use now. Um, we used to sit out a table with like fruit on it and bananas and apples and granola bars for the lifters so they could come by the table. It was in the warm-up area, so you could go by the table and get you a banana or something.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, we used to, have a concession stand every single meet. We'd sell t-shirts. Towards the end of the crazy times, we actually would, how we take pictures during the meets of everybody's lifts and put them
Yeah.
on the internet, which I think we're still one of the only people that do that every single meet. Um, so we'd take your picture, and after every single flight, you would be able to go to the, not concession stand, what's the word I'm looking for? Souvenir stand. And after every flight, we'd have it where you could print your picture off at the meet and get it.
Whoa.
Yeah, and you could take it home. So we were doing all kinds of, like I said, just over the top crazy stuff. Um, like I said, we had some world class dudes lifting with us, so they would have, like autograph tables and stuff like that. Um, but the biggest thing is since we're running all over North and South Carolina, because these 2 or 3 meets we did a year, we were just in Winston-Salem. We had
Yeah.
to figure out how to cut down all this weight as far as platform and that kind of stuff goes, since we were traveling and putting it on a trailer now, because we're going to start going to South Carolina and running meets. As far as just from a production standpoint, the Nationals is probably the closest we get to being as big as what we were as far as production goes.
Yeah.
Because now if it's just a state meet or something, we'll use stall mats. We don't use the two layers of wood. And I want to say, which my
Yeah.
dimensions may be way off, like our old platform was something like 24 by 24 feet,
Good night.
and now we just use like a 12 by 12,
Whoa.
which the old platform might have been even bigger than that. Anyways, we learned to I can't talk. We learned to simplify stuff, basically so we could, travel lighter. So as far as Iron Boy goes, that's one change. Just technology in general has changed. Back in the day, because we play music while people lift. Back in the day, you'd have to when you picked your song, we had a 5-disc stereo player, so you
Oh
would
my God.
have to write down which disc it was and then what track it was on the disc, and we had somebody sitting there changing it on the stereo to which disc it was, and then you played it. So stuff like that simpler now to where we can just use a laptop.
Yeah.
As far as atmosphere, the atmosphere is still great to me personally. It's just a different kind of atmosphere.
Yeah. I can see that.
It's, like going to a club versus going to like a baseball game or something. You still have a bunch of energy and atmosphere. It's just different. So I'd say back in the Wild Wild West days when we had all these multiply people, it was like going to the club. It's just a different type of people and energy. Nowadays it's much more like going to a baseball game or something where it's more family friendly and just the energy's different.
Yeah, that's true. And then also, you'll have a lot of young lifters as well.
Yeah, I'd say as far as our lifters go, we primarily cater to the novice lifter and the master lifter. We'll get a lot of lifters, they'll lift with us a couple times and they'll go off and do their own thing. But yeah, we cater to the novice and the master lifter.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot of fun. A lot of fun when you can choose your own
Which
music and
y'all 198 boys, you could, bring in that middle part for us. Get
That's
get
true.
some competition going.
yeah, the 198s. I mean, let's go. I'm all for it. If they all agree.
How many people did you compete with in October?
So, I mean, in the open, I guess it was me and 3 other 198ers that were really going at it. There was some other ones. There was a kid, like there was a younger kid and stuff in the 198s, and there were some other people in that class. But
I feel like there was like 6 of you or something.
yeah, I know I think there was a like 18 or 19-year-old.
Like you said though, if we can get that kind of competition going in every single weight class to where everybody's coming out for like the national meet to duke it out, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I hope everyone shows up in October because man, it's something to duke it out. I'll beat all of them. I'll beat the other two.
I hope to get back into the competition one day so I can join y'all in that 198.
Yeah, let's do it. And then, well, I guess leading into this, I was going to ask this eventually, but what's your training looking like now, and like as far as trying to get back into it, and or what are your goals and stuff like that? Like, what are you doing now?
Well, just to rewind a little bit, like I said, I did that national meet when I was 11 years old. We go back home after Nebraska, and it might be another year before we shut down the gym, actually. So I think, like I said, I might have already said all this. So I think I had another year of training, and then we shut down the gym. So now I'm 12. So the gym shut down, blah, blah, blah. And this is when I started having to lift in commercial gyms. So we lifted in the YMCA, and there used to be a commercial gym called Peak Fitness. And we trained at the Peak Fitness for a long time, probably for 2 or 3 years. So I was hitting it pretty good. I wasn't really competing outside of Iron Boy. When I was 14 years old, I was squatting in the gym and just being a stupid teenager thinking I knew everything. I thought I was warmed up enough, and I go down to squat and I tear my hamstring. And dude, that thing sounded like a Gatling gun. Pop, 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 pop.
Oh
And,
man.
Yeah.
I've only somewhat torn and tweaked my hamstring a little bit. Haven't nothing major.
Well, if you haven't heard any pops, you're doing good.
I only heard one pop.
Okay. Well, you might have strained it a little bit then.
That was don't race against a bunch of track athletes when you haven't warmed up, people. That doesn't end well.
Don't do anything unless you're warmed up. Because that's what got me. I jumped straight to my working weight with only doing like one warm-up set, which nowadays we'll probably overkill it on the warm-up too much. But I'd rather do that than get hurt.
That's true.
So anyways, I tear my hamstring. Like I said, I'm 14 years old. I didn't tear it enough to where they told me to be on crutches, but I didn't use the crutches because I thought they were annoying. So I just limped around, school for like a month.
Yeah.
And that's really where my decline started happening as far as not wanting to lift and just not being that much into it. And also,
Well, I mean, it's hard when you're injured.
yeah,
Wait.
but as far as like the will and the want to come back, it wasn't like, oh crap, I tore my hamstring. Well, now I have to rehab and get my mind right so I can make a comeback. It was like, okay, I tore my hamstring. Well, I'll take some time off and just chill. It wasn't, I had no urgency to come back to powerlifting.
Okay.
Yeah. And like we said earlier, around when I was 14, I judged my first meet. So it just all came together to where, hey, I'm injured now, and I'm judging now, and I'm old enough to where I can work. So that's where the transition happened of T-Payne being a lifter into T-Payne being a judge.
Yeah, and then just focusing on running the meets and
Mm-hmm.
doing all that, because that's a lot of work to get them all organized and set up and tear down and
Yeah.
all of that whole process.
So that's why I started judging more and started working more at the meets. When I got healed up, we went back to lifting in the commercial gyms. At one point in time, we went back to another powerlifting specific place. A guy that used to lift in House of Pain gym in Yacktonville, he opened up his own place in his backyard. We lifted there for, a year, maybe a year and a half. Then went back to the Y, and that's when you hooked up with us.
That's true. I was, I don't know, 16 when I hooked up with y'all?
Yeah, I
Something
want
like
to
that?
say I lifted 1 year with you when both of us were in high school, so I was a senior. And then, because what'd you say? Are you 2 years behind me?
3.
But is it 3 school years or just 2 school years?
I think I must have been a freshman when you were a senior.
Okay. Because I was trying to
So-
think of how many years we trained before you left for college.
So we trained for at least 3.
Yeah. So one of those years, I guess, I was still in high school. And that's when we were waking up at 5 o'clock and going
my
to the
goodness.
gym.
Oh, the YMCA at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Dark and early.
That's true. Not many high schoolers were up at that hour.
That place was a ghost town.
Yeah, it was. Except for we had some good old loudmouths though at 5 o'clock.
The South Carolina fans.
Yeah. It was like what, 3 of them? 4 of
Yeah,
them?
I kind of wonder if those dudes still work out. I don't know.
That's true.
So anyways, Andrew, he and I started working out together. And I hit it good for another, like he said, 3 years or so. But I wasn't really competing because now it's turned into well, we need you to judge this meet, which if I really wanted to lift in a meet, my dad would figure out judges. So once again, it comes back on me as far as wanting to compete and having the drive
Yeah.
to do it. So those 3 years we hit hard. I might have, done a couple of deadlift only meets or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into the routine of when Andrew goes to college, I don't train.
Yeah, so now we're into this process where I would come home for, I would come home for Thanksgiving
Yeah.
and so you and me would train for a
Yeah,
week.
we get a good weekend.
A good week. Hey, but let me tell you something. Oh man, your bench press. T-Pain
Dude.
figured out the secret to the bench press. If you don't bench press for 6 months, your bench press will go up. Like,
Ugh.
I don't know what.
That is the craziest thing out of all of it. My bench press never went down. Well, it's down now, but back then it was pretty good.
Yeah, like you wouldn't lift for 6 months and I come back and you'd hit 5 pounds heavier or just the same. I'm just like, what is going on? I'm like, if I stopped benching for 6 months, my bench would tank.
Yeah. So I would lift during Thanksgiving, during Christmas, and I guess like May until you until you came home for the summer. So it was literally about 6 months out of the year I would train and 6 months I wouldn't. And it's been like that for the past, let's see, this is your senior year, so the past 4 years I've been training just 6 months a year.
Yep. And well, you would also do about once a week up in Morganton,
Yeah.
I guess.
We opened up a little place. A guy in Morganton, he was grateful enough to let us move a bunch of equipment into a building that he had beside his house. We had a pretty good setup in there. We had
Yeah, no, I liked it.
we had 2 squat racks in there, a reverse hyper, a glute ham, a lap machine, like a cable machine. We had enough. We had all you needed to be a powerlifter.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we had that place for a little while, and we trained those guys. Sometimes it'd be twice a week, but more often than not, it ended up being once a week, just from where we were on the road anyway, doing Iron Boy.
Mhm.
So if anything, I would train once a week, or train hard for, 2 or 3 weeks at a time until Andrew had to go do something.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah. And then the bad part is Andrew started getting internships during the summer.
Oh, true.
So the past 2 years, I really haven't done anything.
3 years.
3 years?
I've been gone for 3. I've had 3 internships, so I've been gone for 3 summers.
Oh.
Right.
Well,
I think so.
I was thinking you've only been gone for 2, because technically this would
Oh,
be...
wait, one of those internships were back to back. So yeah, I guess it was only 2 summers.
Yeah. Either way, I ain't done crap for the past 2 years. I think I've done like 1 deadlift only meet or something in Cherokee.
Hey, but the times are changing.
The times are changing. You are correct.
Time. Well, what time? It's 7:49. It's on a Thursday. You heard it here. The comeback of T-Pain. He's coming back. He's going to deadlift 1,000 pounds.
I'm ready.
Crazy. The open corn dog division. It's ready. The 198s. He's coming. He's coming.
So I guess back to your original question. The
I don't even
goal,
know my original question.
the goal is right now to lose weight. So right now I'm 220. I want to get down to 181 because I'm too weak and too fat to be competitive right now. So at least when I'm 181, I'll just be too weak. So the goal, I want to say, I looked at the numbers earlier this week, and I want to say the 242 elite number is like 590 or maybe it's 7 or something. It might not even be that high. Maybe 275 is 590. Oh, wait, no, I'm way off. I mean 690. My bad.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll have to go look him up again.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up too. Well, anyways, 242, it might be 655. So I would like to hit elite in 181 talking about the deadlift, not full power. And 181, 198, 220, and 242. But I think the most I'd have to pull is I want to say it's like 655, maybe.
Dude, let's do the full power league. Let's do it. Let's do all three.
Well, yeah, I mean, that'll eventually come, but I can be the deadlift king too.
Oh, we can do a tandem deadlift. We can pull 1100.
But anyways, that's what's in my head right now, just to get me going again. Because I'm sure once I get rolling again, I'll be squatting and benching again too.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you've done pretty good over these past like month or so. Like you've been getting up early.
Yeah. I guess 11 days ago we got our membership to the YMCA again, and my dad and we've been going. We have been weight training once or twice a week, but we've been going every day to walk and to do cardio.
Mm-hmm.
So at least for the past 11 days, I've been working out as far as, well, like I just said, I might have done weight training 4 times out of them 11 days.
So do you have like a plan, or is it just like go in for those 2 days and just work on the deadlift, or just, is it more form work, or is it just kind of?
I'm so far behind. I'm just doing like the beginner lifting thing. I have deadlifted every single time because, like I said, I'm just trying to wake everything back up again.
Yeah, and I mean that's smart.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta take it back slow. Like you can't hop in there 5 days a week, squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yeah. So that's the goal right now. I'd like to get down to 181.
Is that? You're my height, right? Are you taller than me? I can never remember. You're about my height.
I know you said you were 5'9" in the last podcast, but I'm pretty sure you're at least 5'10". I think you're taller than 5'9".
Oh.
Because I'm like 5'11 and a half, and then if I put shoes on, I'm 6.
Dude, there's no. I got measured at the doctor's office like a year ago. I ain't grow. There's
Dude,
no way. You 5'11"?
When you come home, we are going to measure ourselves, our height.
Dude, there's no way you're 5'11".
I promise you I'm 5'11".
Dude, well then you're taller than me, because I got Kenneth, one of my roommates is 5'11". He taller than me by quite a bit.
Well, all right, we'll figure it out. That's a podcast for another day. Y'all stay tuned to figure out how tall we are.
I'm a short boy.
All right, what's your next question?
All right, so when you're training, we kind of already know this since I've trained with you before, but do you jam out, or I guess you're in the commercial gym, you just gotta listen to Ariana Grande or whatever they're playing.
We got to do the Ariana Grande technique when you're in the commercial gym.
Sure.
Like the place we were talking about in Morganton, I would jam out because it's just a different atmosphere, because it's guys in there that are in there for powerlifting. And it was the same way in Yadkinville. We had a stereo set up, and people brought in their own music and stuff in Yadkinville. And, you know, we'd blow that insurance company or whatever it was beside of us out of the window.
Yeah, not to mention all the heavy deadlifts.
Yeah, I know, and people
the building.
dumping it and all kinds of stuff because it's the crazy multiplied crazy stuff. Anyways, it just depends on where I'm at. So if I'm in a commercial gym, I'm fine just listening to Raspberry Beret by Prince or whatever crap's going on. And which just got to a point though towards the end of us going to Morganton and having that place up there. I got to where I would just get into my own zone by myself.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. You kind of, the way you want your training to be is you want to make it as hard as possible. So when you go to the meet's actually the easy part. And, you know, not having music, you could call that as being one of the hard parts. So that way when you get to the meet and you have the music, it's just extra adrenaline for you. And that is my dog.
Oh, good old Phoebe.
Yeah, I know. She's out of here now, so we good. Sorry, folks.
So you trained at powerlifting gyms, you trained in commercial gyms. So
Hmm.
which environment? I mean, I think we all prefer probably the powerlifting environment, but what are the different things you have to do in order to train in these different environments? Like I know in a commercial gym, when I pull out my bag of chalk, I kind of just keep it in the corner, make sure none of the personal trainers see it.
Yeah, you
So we
definitely
don't
have
get
to
kicked out.
sneak around more. We got kicked out a couple days ago from that CrossFit place I was talking about
Mhm.
because supposedly you're not supposed to be down there working out unless there is a YMCA trainer in there with you.
Oh man, you mean to tell me you can't work out unless a 90-year-old personal trainer is watching you?
Basically, at least in that CrossFit area. But if you're down there and there is a trainer there, they'll run you off so they can do their class or whatever. So it's a
Yeah.
lose-lose situation. So I told Dad the other day, I'm still going to go down there and do my glute hams. Like, I don't care. That's where the
That's
machine
true.
is. So,
Yeah, exactly. If that's where the glute ham is, that's where I'm going.
and dude, I kid you not, it is set up the exact way I did it 2 weeks ago. Like, as far as where the thing is to put your feet in.
Man, no one knows how to use that thing.
I was telling this to Mom. Either there's one or three things going on. One, of course, there ain't nobody using it. Two, it's just a weird coincidence. Or three, they're just using the glute ham to do sit-ups.
No, that's terrible.
So, yeah, it's still. Anyways, if they try to run me off again, I'll probably talk to them and be like, yo, this thing hasn't been moved in 3 weeks.
hmm So, do you think that as far as training in a commercial gym, you think you can get if you're focused and dedicated, you can get just as strong in a commercial gym as a powerlifting gym? Do you think the atmosphere in a powerlifting gym really helps promote getting stronger? What's your take on that?
Uh, I think you can. Well, you're kind of the proof of this. You can hit elite lifting in a commercial gym.
Yep.
Uh, you just have to be consistent and not get bored because you've done the same workout for like 6 years because you
Yeah.
can't do anything else.
Yeah. It's not like you can just whip out the
Bands and
safety squat bar
chains.
and the chains and bands. Luckily, I got my own safety squat bar, so it's not that big of an issue for me. But yeah, like I don't have chains. I only have the bands I have in my gym bag, and I can't really even hook up my bands anywhere.
Yeah.
So
So I'll put it this way, you can hit elite without having to go to a powerlifting gym, but for where you are at right now, you're going to have to need some of that crazy stuff just because you're at the
I'm at a point where I need to start incorporating some of the reverse bands, some of the banded things,
because
just so when it changes up the process a little bit, throws in some variation, and then
right.
it just helps like that added resistance.
Because I was wanting to say the word plateau, but you're not really plateauing. You're just so high up on a different level to where you need to introduce these chains and bands and stuff to grow. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but that's
you can definitely be successful in powerlifting just lifting in a commercial gym, no doubt.
yeah. I mean, people got strong for years without bands.
Yeah, shoot. Oh, people digging holes in the backyard so their elbows can go down for bench pressing. My dad used to
Exactly.
do that. He'd lay down in the backyard because really there was no such thing as a flat bench back then. Uh,
Yeah.
so he'd lay down on the ground, dig holes on either side of him so his elbows could go, below his chest. And that's how he would bench press.
And
So,
that is dedication, people digging holes.
yeah, he's got way more fire and passion than I do.
But it's all changing. You're coming back.
Oh yeah,
It's happening.
I got to be the deadlift king.
That's right. You gotta out deadlift me.
Because all I have to do for that 242 thing is weigh 221. It's like I don't have to get super fat again.
That's true.
Yeah,
Or you can just hit it at 198 or whatever.
true.
Or the 220, or if you want to weigh like 199, 200.
Yeah, but to be official though.
No,
A-
that's true.
Anyway, but yeah, you can do what you need to do in a commercial gym.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
I'll put it this way: it depends on what commercial gym you go to. You can't do what you need to do at Planet Fitness. That ain't gonna work.
That's true.
You really need somewhere like a YMCA to where they're kind of more laid back about everything.
Yeah, and you definitely need somewhere that's not going to ban you for having chalk or
Deadlifting.
deadlifting, yeah, and all that stuff. For the YMCA, we got the slam pads.
Yeah.
We got these thick pads that you deadlift
It's
on.
just a stall mat.
Yeah, they call it the
The
slam
slam
pad.
pads. Yep. A stall
like,
mat
yeah.
on top of the rubber floor.
Yeah, I'm just like, this ain't much different than your normal rubber floor, but okay.
Yeah.
Whatever doesn't get me kicked
It
out.
works for me. Yeah.
So that's where you train now is the YMCA.
Yeah.
You don't really go anywhere else.
Yeah, we still go to Morganton maybe once a month. Hopefully that will get started up again as my training moves along. We'll probably go up there again once a week. Because although we don't have that place up there in Morganton, we're associated with the gym and we go train some guys in there.
Mm-hmm. So what's your favorite lift? I assume it's the deadlift. Is that your favorite?
Yeah,
No,
that's
good
probably
one.
everybody's favorite lift except, well, you said squat, but I
Hey,
think I'm built to squat, but I love deadlifting. But once I start training, it'll probably switch.
yeah.
Yeah. Right now it's deadlifting.
So what's your favorite equipment that you like to have in the gym? Favorite piece of equipment you like to use?
We went over it on the last podcast with that glute ham machine, man. I think
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
that glute ham is the best thing you can have to work your hamstrings. Just to say something a little bit different, another great hip exercise, which I used to hate when I was a kid, are box steps. I know that's not equipment, but an exercise that you could do, where you're holding dumbbells and you just step up on a box, single leg. So you do,
Yeah.
like 4 sets of 15 or something each leg. I really love kettlebell swings. You can see a common theme here. I love hip workouts.
Yeah, you got to build the glute.
Dude, hips and core, that's how you get strong, man. It's all in your hips.
That's true.
I really love low pulls on a cable, like where you're sitting down and it's like you're rowing a boat, you pull the cable to your stomach.
Yeah.
I really love them things. That's about it. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. Like you said, them tricep extensions, they're great.
That's true. They help a lot with the lockout.
But yeah, kettlebell swings and box steps. There's 2 new ones for you.
All right. Let's move on to a game. Well, you brought this up in the last one. And the white light or red light. It's that time again in the Check My Total podcast. All right. You know the drill. I'm going to ask the question, and then Timmy here is going to say white light if he likes it or red light if it's a no-go. So, just like in powerlifting.
Here we go.
All right. At the end of a meet, shirtless deadlift or keep the shirt on under the singlet?
I'll say
I asked this question like completely.
You screwed it up, but I'm gonna say red light, so no shirts. But this is a personal thing because I'm fat and I like to keep my shirt on right now. So when I get 181 and bulked out a little bit, maybe I'll white light the no shirt. But right now it's a red light. And Andrew, you screwed it up.
I didn't even ask it in a yes or no fashion. I'm gonna do better. All right, here we go.
Number 2.
Olympic lifting shoes.
I will give that a white light.
Okay.
I think they're really helpful during your squat. Wearing a heel, having that hard surface. Cause,
Oh yeah.
Because most Olympic lifting shoes, it's wood in the sole.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you have real bad trouble of getting up on your toes or feeling like you're going to fall over, try wearing Olympic lifting shoes or boots, and it will teach you to sit back. Because if you get up on your toes in a set of boots or Olympic lifting shoes, you're going to fall on your face.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, it definitely definitely helps a lot of beginners that don't have that mobility to get the depth, and it can definitely help you. I personally don't use Olympic lifting shoes. I use flats, but I did use them at one point, and they did seem to help. I don't think they're not a magic pill though. They're not,
No.
you're going to put that shoe on and increase your squat. That's not going to happen.
No.
But you just kind of got to go with whatever's comfortable. I prefer flats.
Me
for
too.
me.
And I guess it gives you a good hard surface to push off of too, as you're trying to drive.
Yeah, they're definitely very grippy on the floor too.
Yeah.
So you have that hard surface, you're gripped down on the floor, you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll white light Olympic lifting shoes. I can dig those.
All right, foam rolling for 20 minutes before your workout.
I've never done it, so I'm gonna say red light.
Man,
But
red light.
it's probably super beneficial. So in retrospect, it's probably a white light. I've just never done it before.
Yeah, foam rolling for a little bit's okay, but man, there's people that sit around for like 30 minutes before, and it's like they're just like foam rolling for like 20, 30 minutes. I'm just like, no, I'm like, there's a point where it's just like, I think you're good. Like
They're trying to tenderize.
Yeah, you don't need to be that tender. You're gonna crumple.
All right. What else you got?
All right, here we go. Pre-workout.
Red light.
Red light.
Yeah, we had this conversation on the last podcast.
Oh, what? Oh, we gotta start marking these off.
Anyways, red light, because unless you're going to your 9 to 5 and working out in the afternoon and you're doing like a manual labor job or something, I don't think you need pre-workout. Because I do a lot of sitting at a desk because I do all the graphic design and stuff for Iron Boy and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I need pre-workout at 25 years old to get going. Like, hopefully I still got enough natural testosterone and get up and go to do what I need to do. And even in the morning, man, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. Like, I understand if you're, you got 3 kids and you're working all day and you need a little get up and go. But I'm just not at that point in my life yet. I don't need anything. So red light on the pre-workout.
Red light. Here we go. Post-workout corn dog.
Oh, white light.
Post-workout CC's buffet.
That is 3 white lights and 3 corn dogs.
Oh my goodness, there's nothing better than corn dogs or a good old CC's buffet.
And post-workout,
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Get those carbs in.
I guess there's some protein in a hot dog. Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit.
And you can kind of carb a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much just eating one big meal a day. That's where I'm at right now.
Just one. Wait, what's your massive meal? Like, what do you eat?
Well, I don't really eat anything until like 4 o'clock.
What in the world?
Yeah, dude.
Wait, I didn't know this. Why are you doing that?
Okay, so I'll wake up, we'll go work out or whatever. I'll come back home. And we'll have like a green drink. So like kale and carrots, and we'll throw a banana in there. Like a vegetable smoothie green drink. I'll have one of those. And then I might have, for example, we went to Costco yesterday and we have rotisserie chicken. So I might have a couple slices of that rotisserie chicken at like noon or something. But most of the times, I won't eat nothing until that shake until dinner. And I'll just drink water all day. So it's almost like I'm fasting all day until dinner time.
Wow.
So.
Hey, if it works.
Yeah. I mean.
There are some benefits to that, yeah.
Because when you think about it, back in the day, you had to hunt your food and then you had to prepare your food. And it was late in the day before then people ate anyway.
Yeah, then you think about it, it comes down to a lot of calorie stuff. So, if you're getting the proteins and everything you need within the day.
Yeah. And I'm not doing enough extraneous work to be eating all day anyway.
True. All right, last white light, red light question.
Here we go.
All right, bumper plates.
White light.
Okay.
Well, for one, you're not tearing the floor up, so that keeps your commercial gym people happy.
That's true.
Because, not everybody has a slam pad.
That's true. Now you got to have the slam pad.
For the deadlift, if you're wanting to do something lighter than 135, it's good to have bumper plates, so it's the same height as if you're
Yeah.
pulling a big plate, a 45. So they come in handy for that. And then, like I said, you're not tearing stuff up. I don't advocate dropping the bar, but in case that happens, at least it's a little bit better. If you're actually doing Olympic lifting, then yeah, you definitely need bumper plates.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, bumper plates are cool in my book, man.
All right.
Bumper plates and
Well-
hot dogs. I mean corn dogs.
Bumper plates and corn dogs. All right. Well, we've been talking for an hour and 13 minutes.
Oh, we're a little long-winded, y'all.
All right. We should wrap this thing up.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Where can people find you?
Where can people find me? You can find me at, well, first let me tell you where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram at Timothy B. Payne, and that's on Instagram. And my Facebook handle, I want to say is like official Timothy Payne or official T Payne, one of those two. And of course, you can find us, both of us, at Iron Boy Powerlifting, and that's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, please subscribe and thank you for listening. We hope that you learned a little bit about us, and that it's enough to keep you around and still wanting to listen.
You know the host, you know the food, you know what we're about. This is Check My Total Podcast. Get your slam pads on Amazon for $900 each. Get your chicken nuggets at McDonald's. Get your corn dogs out the freezer. This is it. Andrew Hinton out.
We out. Check my total.
Check My Total.
Oh.